Welcome to my corner for Boxing Barmy, the punch-packed video in which we'll be taking a look at the great champions and the offbeat and crazy moments in the world fight game. I've been boxing Barmy since I was knee-high to a ring stall. My dad Terence was a top-class pro in the 1950s, when the all-round standard of professional boxing was much higher and more demanding than today. It was Dad who went down on his knees to teach me right from left, as well as right from wrong, and I became an amateur international with the famous West Ham and Repton boxing clubs in London's East End. My dream was always to win one of these, a precious Lonsdale belt. I got this the easy way. It was given to me by my late uncle, Joe Lucy, who was British lightweight champion in the 1950s. Anyway, I decided it was easier to deliver punchlines as an actor, and my boxing background has come in handy for some scenes in London's Burning. That's enough about me. Let's get on with the action. We've got 10 great rounds coming up, and what better way to start than with some knockout performances from 5 of the greatest heavyweights of all time. It would be balmy not to include them in this boxing banquet. First up is Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. He was a winner of a record 26 world title fights and was reckoned to have the fastest fists of any heavyweight champion. He took on and beat all comers in his Bum of the Month campaign. This is the murderous Rocky Marciano, who won all of his 49 fights in a clubbing, no-holds-barred style. He remains the only world heavyweight champion to have retired undefeated.
A sizzling left-right combination drops Walcott here in the opening round. Walcott goes down from that paralyzing combination. Marciano throws a short right and Lane goes down and out. Marciano. Green pile driver left and Matthews is down.
Here's ageless Archie Moore, getting rocked to defeat in 9 rounds in Marciano's last world title defence in 1955. And just watch the roughhouse treatment that Marciano dishes out to the British bulldog, Don Cockle, and you'll understand why he was called the 20th century caveman. Now it's the young Cassius Clay before he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. He went on to become the only man to win the world heavyweight title 3 times. This was considered to be Ali at his greatest, and the man on the receiving end of these lightning punches is Cleveland Big Cat Williams. Here's awesome Iron Mike Tyson on his way to becoming the world's youngest heavyweight champion at just 20. And this was the punch against Trevor Berbick that first won him the title. Here's Tyson at his most ferocious, knocking Larry Holmes cold for the first time in his career. Now let's see what happens when the fists of one of the hardest punchers, George Foreman, connects with the chin of one of the toughest fighters, George Chuvalo.
Good evening, George and George. You both know the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. However, let's briefly review some of the more important rules. In the event of a knockdown, you must take an 8 count. 3 knockdowns in 1 round will automatically end the contest. When I say break, you must break. Now let's have a nice clean fight. Shake hands now. Come out, boxer.
Foreman, for all of his inexperience, he's only had 21 fights, all of which he's won, is going about this job in a methodical, workmanlike way. And he's taking his time, unhurried, just piling up the points. Chuvalo staggered. Chuvalo has never been off his feet. 2 minutes left in the round. It's an awesome battering that Chuvalo is taking. He is now spitting blood. Chuvalo being battered in his own corner. And Irving Ungerman, his manager, is asking the referee to stop it. He's climbing into the ring. The referee hasn't heard him. It's all over. It's all over. Arthur McCanty has stopped the fight. Irving Ungerman, to give him credit, his manager was climbing in there. There's the winner, George Foreman. Irving Ungerman wanted the fight stopped. It was no contest almost from the beginning. Chuvalo is protesting to the referee, but I believe the referee did the right thing for boxing and for Chuvalo. No question about it.
That last sequence featured the remarkable George Foreman the first time round. Could you believe that George Chuvalo, the man on the receiving end of that final barrage of punches, protested that the referee was wrong to stop it? He must be Barmy. The biggest change in the fight game since my dad's day is that boxers need to project themselves as personalities as well as punchers. There has been no greater showman than Muhammad Ali, and he starts our next round as he clowns before his fight with Ernie Shavers, one of the most feared punchers in boxing history. But to watch Ali, you'd think it was just a big joke. Kiss for George Foreman from the aptly named Charlie Polite, and then it's come dancing. This was one of the 5 fights that Foreman had in one night in Toronto in 1975. They lasted a total of 12 rounds, and George won them all. They went down in the record books as boxing exhibitions, but this seems more like something out of the Victor Sylvester School of Dancing. Take your partners for a foxtrot. And here's victorious Rochdale middleweight Derek Warmold in boogieing mood after he had led his opponent a dance. This is the old dancing master, Jersey Joe Walcott, preparing to try to regain the world heavyweight crown from Rocky Marciano. At 37, Jersey Joe was the oldest champion to win the title when he knocked out Ezzard Charles in 7 rounds. Just look at this for footwork. No dancing or clowning for Rocky Marciano. For him, boxing was always a deadly serious business.
Preparing to make his first defense of the heavyweight crown he won from Jersey Joe Walcott in Philadelphia last September, Rocky is in training at Holland, Michigan. In this sparring drill, he's wearing the white trunks. His sparring partner, incidentally, is Tommy Harrison, a very good fighter in his own right. Harrison is the fellow who earlier ruptured blood vessels in Rocky's nose, causing a postponement of the title match. Far more than most professional boxers, Marciano is a guy who likes to train. This is play. For Rocky, this basketball passing is just a breather. An unusual feature of Marciano's training routine is batting this giant-sized bag. It weighs 270 pounds, about 4 times heavier than the ordinary type, and it was designed and made especially for him. Now a wind-up of the punching bag. Under the careful eye of trainer Charlie Goldman, Marciano has developed into a first-class fighting man.
And this is what he did to Jersey Joe in the return.
A sizzling left-right combination drops Walcott here in the opening round.
Britain has produced some of the greatest showmen of modern times, whose fame has transcended the sport of boxing. Chris Eubank always arrives in style, and is just as big an entertainer in as outside the ring. Gary Stretch is about to feel the full weight of Eubank's punching power. And that's John Jarvis taking it on the chin. Eubank's greatest ring rival was Nigel Benn, who surely had one of the biggest hearts of any of the modern champions. A Eubank ring entrance was always an event, and in Berlin against Rocchigiani, he took showboating to a new level. Have you ever seen such an outrageous uppercut as this? And how about this for showmanship? This is, of course, the new clown prince of the ring, Nassim Hamid, a true prince of entertainers who proves that he can tumble as well as rumble. There are times when the best fights start as the real fight finishes. We go back to 1960 in a European heavyweight title fight between Dick Richardson and Brian London for one of the most infamous ring brawls of them all.
Jack Richardson, the taller man, and Brian London fought for the heavyweight championship of Europe at Coney Beach Arena, Porthcawl. Richardson, on the left, holds the title. But it was London, the challenger, who did most of the attacking in the early rounds. Before the fight had gone far, there was a lot of needle in it. London said Richardson butted him more than once. Round 8. London had to win quickly now, or he'd probably have to retire with that badly cut eye. Richardson was holding and butting again. But to London's annoyance, the referee did no more than caution the boatsman. The longer round 8 continued, the less likely it seemed that Brian London would land a knockout punch. He was tiring. In the last few seconds, the fight degenerated into something between a dance and a comic wrestling match. London's cut eye was so bad, it was announced that he'd retire. Apparently, that wasn't his own decision. There was pandemonium, a free-for-all, a scene without parallel in the history of boxing. London had lost his temper completely. It was no longer a private fight. Everybody joined in. London's brother and his father, ex-heavyweight champion Jack London, weighed in, so the family was well represented. Eventually, the police restored order by sheer weight of numbers. Brian London had lost the verdict, and by losing his temper as well, he's probably got on the wrong side of the Board of Controls. Many will sympathize with him, but professional boxing simply cannot tolerate another brawl.
When Peter Miller, shorter of the two, fought Hans Stretz in Cologne, he objected to warnings from the referee, so he socked him. In fact, he knocked him out. And nobody could do anything with Miller, who was obviously prepared to fight all comers. Then Stretz's manager and Miller's seconds climbed into the ring, but the ring was a pretty dangerous place by this time. Finally, Miller himself cleared out. Now he's been barred for life from German boxing rings.
And here are a couple of flashbacks from Australia, when tempers boiled over down under.
The champion is favourite at 6-4 and carries the fight to Richards, driving him onto the ropes. The gong goes for the end of the round, but who cares about a mere detail like that? The ref thinks it's quite important, but he's helpless against such enthusiasts. And it takes the total strength of all the seconds to drag the boys apart. Maybe they don't like each other.
Their defenses are down. Both fighters give no quarter as they take lefts and rights to the head. They're coming from everywhere. By Joves, the Marquis of Queensberry would never approve of this, what? Johnson's round arm swings are packed with power, but his direction is astray. Sam shows the way to stop a punch with his noggin. A backhander from Johnson earns a rebuke from the referee, but one of those wild swings only has to land, and they'll need a plumber. Now for a sitting target. Sands is pushed through the ropes, but Johnson refuses to stop swinging. The rules are tossed aside. Referee Vic Patrick hands out a final warning, then it's on again. Patrick leaves the ring, declaring the roughest fight of the year, no fight. Anyway, who the heck needs a referee? This is fun. Let's all join in.
It becomes even more of a Barmy sport when outsiders decide to take a hand. The next sequence almost calls for a fire alarm rather than a boxing bell, with a mother shouting that she'll fight her son's battles. This could be called the mother of all battles. Just watch this.
McCarthy now following up here. Got Wilson in trouble, but Wilson will be dangerous. Crowd on their feet. Wilson reeling all over the place here as McCarthy rains the punches in. He's in trouble. Major Morgan could stop this here.
That's Tony Wilson's mother, who came to the rescue of her son, who was under attack from Steve McCarthy in this British light heavyweight title eliminator.
Mayhem here. What appears to be Tony Wilson's brother going crazy with an umbrella or something. Well.
Referee Adrian Morgan decided that they should box on, but McCarthy insisted that he had won the fight. He was disqualified for refusing to return to the ring. Wilson was declared the winner, much to the disgust of McCarthy's supporters. It ain't half hot, Mum.
Adrian Morgan trouble here. Bad refereeing there and bad security, but a bad reaction from this crowd as well. And don't like this at all.
In the next two clips, you will see uninvited guests making dramatic ring entrances. Or should that be uninvited pests?
It's all over, I think. Yeah, it's all over. What a shame for Rick Costello, but another good win away from home for Rob Bitters. Yeah, but a long left right, and he's never really recovered from the shot. So once again, Bitters now on ring 3. We get an idiot like this. Seen that before. Well, the little Scotsman fired up now. Fancies this, and he's got it now. Goodness me. Well. And Benton in big trouble. He's going to be... No, it's all over. So Louis Veach wins in 2 rounds then. What a tremendous turn-up for the books. Louis Veach gets himself smack in the title picture with a second-round stoppage and destruction. Oh, goodness me, what's going on here? What an idiot. What an idiot. What a complete idiot.
There are occasions when the fighting outside the ring is better than the fighting inside. former British heavyweight champion Horace Notice getting an unkind cut during a ringside riot in Paris. But as you're about to see, it can also get hot at British ringside. And there are times when the ticket-selling gimmicks get out of hand. This is Herbie Hyde and Michael Bent turning a press conference into more than the usual war of words.
If you're as good as you look, Michael, you'd be a bit enticing, but you're not, so I wouldn't bother looking at you. Come on, man, look. Come on! Come on! Hey! Come on, break it up! 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 Come on! Come on! Blood clot, you man. Go, you're mad, no bomber clot. Blood clot, shake hands, guys, come on. You're mad.
You've no doubt heard about the delayed effect of punches. Well, here's the best example you're likely to see. As Jimmy Carter defends his world lightweight title against Tommy Collins in 1953.
Jimmy Carter defends his lightweight championship against Tommy Collins of Boston. The action is fast and furious as Carter gets to Collins with punches that seem to have an effect seconds later. Collins tries to shake it off.
In America in the 1950s, referees just did not believe in stopping fights unless they had to. It really was Barmy.
The action is fast and furious as champion Carter gives Collins a boxing lesson. Jimmy Carter won the lightweight crown by knocking out Ike Williams in May of 1951. He lost and regained the title from Lauro Salas. Against Collins, Carter shows what it means when a fighter gets off to a fast start. Collins is a rugged competitor who has KO'd Willie Pep and Ronnie Clayton with a decision over Lauro Salas and Glenn Flanagan. Collins has tremendous recuperative powers and fights back after each knockdown. The referee knows Collins is hurt, but knows, too, that Collins has often come off the floor to KO his opponents. But against Jimmy Carter in April of 1953, Collins doesn't get the chance. The lightweight champion of the world was too much for Tommy Collins of Boston.
If you're going to make an exhibition of yourself in boxing, it's best to do it in the ring. Here are Earl Graham and Johnny Nelson having some fun at the expense of the referee. Both Graham and Nelson are products of the Brendan Ingle Boxing Academy in Sheffield and know all the tricks of the trade. That's referee John Coyle joining in the fun and games.
Odder still, how about this for seconds out? The cornerman decided to sit this one out.
Novelty's not even bothered getting up from his stool. You don't often see that, do you? Novelty's staying on his seat. And let's just get the advice. William's standing up there on his own. Well, that's pretty unique. You might just be listening to the comfort of Birmingham City match. Well, he's obviously thinking there's nothing you can tell him. It's all going his way at the moment.
7, 8, 9, you're out.
Well, fortunately, I never experienced being counted out by a ref during my career. He has a tough old job, the ref, and sometimes he should be paid danger money. My dad tells me he once sploshed a ref because he counted them out for the only time in his career, when he was convinced he'd beaten the count. Who would be a referee, Ake?
The first round started fast, but it stopped even faster for referee Heinz Berkel. He didn't even take the mandatory 8 count. Instead, delighted fans with an attempt to regain his composure and his footing, but he didn't manage to well. Kenyan David Atam delivered the unconventional KO. No doubt his opponent, West German Harold Rodewijs, was happy to see the blow land where it did. Here it is again, mostly for the benefit of Berkel, so he'll know what happened. In the end, Atam's opponent, Rodewijs, suffered the same fate, going down in the next round. That knockout was anticlimactic. By then, Berkel had been replaced as referee. He says now he'll have to do some replacing himself. New denture.
This loss of temper by Bobby Frankham, after the referee decided he was in no fit state to continue, brought him a long suspension from the ring. You will rarely see a fighter on a shorter fuse, and is ready to explode at any moment. We apologise for the quality of this footage, filmed with a handheld camera, but make no apologies for including the action. It sums up boxing Barmy. Watch out, ref. There's another uninvited guest on the way. No ifs or buts. Referee Roy Francis has to make a disqualification decision. And here is an incredible case of fight stops referee. Ruby Goldstein is taking smelling salts to try to keep himself going, but finally has to retire during the Joey Maxim Sugar Ray Robinson world title fight that was fought in ringside temperatures of 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
The referee just got another capsule of smelling salts from the Athletic Commission doctor at ringside. Maxim hasn't landed a real hard punch in the 10 rounds so far, and he's taken an awful lot of punishment from Robinson. The end of round 10. Ruby Goldstein is talking to the commission doctor at the side. Goldstein looks very sick. He says he can't continue. Here comes Ray Miller to finish out the fight as substitute referee. The doctor helps Goldstein get off the ring. He can hardly walk. This is one of the most unusual things we've ever seen in a title fight. Goldstein has really been knocked out.
No matter how solid you make your stomach muscles, the punch that strays below the belt can still cause unbearable pain, as the following sequences prove. We start with a sensational battle between Ken Buchanan and Roberto Duran, and it's about to be unlucky 13th for Ken.
A minute to go in the round.
Buchanan had been fighting his heart out to hold off the challenge of an opponent who was to become one of the great legends of boxing. But Duran was gradually wearing him down in the 13th round.
The challenger has tremendous vitality and stamina. I think Buchanan's getting by on nerve alone. Got 2 rough rounds ahead of him. No knockdown there. 10 seconds to go in the round. Buchanan went down after the bell, claiming a low blow. Buchanan went down after the bell, holding his groin. Dr. Edward Campbell of the commission has gone in. Now Buchanan is getting up and going to his corner. He is in severe pain. I'm going to try to get the referee, Johnny Lobianco. There was a flurry of punches at the bell, and all of a sudden, Buchanan just caved in and went down. Gil Clancy is talking to the referee, Johnny Lobianco. Now let's see what's going to happen here. The referee may be stopping the fight, I don't know. The warning whistle has sounded for round 14. It's a question of whether or not Buchanan will come out. The fight has been stopped. The fight has been stopped, and the winner and new lightweight champion of the world, 21-year-old Roberto Duran of Panama.
Thule was hard at it when, with head down, he put pain to the Belgian.
Jake Thule, the fighting Zulu, lands a body shot. But if you ask me, the cornerman caused his opponent more grief.
But Del Clark was pretty well out and couldn't come up to the 5th round. In the event, the referee awarded victory to the battling Zulu.
Look out. The phantom body snatcher is about to strike.
Just picking his punches and, well. Larry O'Connell stopped it. He won't have it. Minus claiming a low blow there. Larry O'Connell warning him. He's going to give him time to recover and says that if he doesn't get up, I think the rules state that a boxer's got 5 minutes to regain his feet. If it's an unintentional low foul shot. And Chent's screaming for him to get up. And it's right, it's within the rules for Minus to take a breather and to try and recover. But this is very unpopular action here. Minus to get off the floor. And yes, Larry stopped it, I'm sure.
And it can be just as painful when the punches land in the kidneys, as Gunter Hecht finds out against the great Sugar Ray Robinson.
Down, holding his back and evidently in great pain. When the battle was resumed, Robinson cut loose right away. Watch carefully and you'll be able to judge for yourself whether it was kidney punching that knocked the German out or not. And no decision ruling was substituted for disqualification, and Sugar Ray had to have police protection from the irate crowd.
Round 8 is coming up at the double. It features boxers tumbling to the canvas together, and we start with 2 extraordinary double knockdowns. Then watch out for Sandy Sadler against Willie Pep, in what we reckon to be one of the roughest, toughest title fights of all time. Where not only the boxers, but also the referee was on the floor.
The champion in black trades heavy leather with the top-ranked challenger. 2 quick lefts hurt Murphy, and a wicked right has him reeling. Moody opening up on the champion. And Murphy goes down. Referee Larry Hazard sends Moody to a neutral corner and picks up the count. Murphy is up at 8, and Hazard wipes his glove. Murphy lasts the round. In round 11, it's Murphy doing the scoring. Now Moody is down. Referee Hazard screams out the numbers over the day's challenger. Here in round 12, it's all even. Both men land pile driver rights at the same time, and both fighters go down. Referee Hazard counts over both men. The champion struggles to make it to his feet while Moody is still on the canvas. It's all over. Here's that spectacular double knockdown again. Unbelievably, the 2 fighters land at the same time. Both men are rocked, and each slowly sinks to the floor. One of the most amazing knockdowns in history. Leroy Murphy stops Chisanda Moody in one of the strangest knockouts ever seen.
More trouble in Berlin arose from a recent fight fiasco. Tiger Jones of New Jersey against the German heavyweight Kohlbrecker. And in the second round, they knocked each other out of the ring. So far, the audience must have been reasonably satisfied that they were getting their money's worth. But neither of the gladiators got back on his feet inside the ropes before the count was over. So both had been counted out, and the fight was over. This however, didn't do for the crowd, who yelled for the fight to continue. The riot brought the police into action, and by the time peace was restored, probably everyone had had enough after all.
It's the famous old polo grounds in New York City. Willie Pep enters the ring to fight Sandy Sadler for the 4th time. Sadler, the featherweight champion, follows. He holds a 2-to-1 edge over the former title holder in one of boxing's real grudge series.
This is the main event, 15 rounds for the featherweight championship of the world, presented by the International Boxing Club. The principals from Hartford, Connecticut, wearing black trunks, weighing 125, the challenger, Willie Pep. His opponent from New York City, wearing white trunks, weighing 125.5 pounds, the featherweight champion of the world, Sandy Sadler. 15 rounds for the featherweight championship of the world.
There goes Sadler almost when Pep hooks that leg around his right. There goes the referee. Ray Miller needs a putty knife to separate those two. Now a little lecture for Willie Pep.
Well, not quite the alley shuffle, but there was only one man who could perform it to perfection. He's already been featured several times on the video. But I couldn't let it go without a special look at the man who will always be the greatest in my eyes, and most of those lucky enough to see him. The one, the only, Muhammad Ali! We start with him making his first controversial title defense against Sonny Liston, and then feature him taunting Ernie Terrell.
Beautiful right-hand shot that you saw. That was the best punch thus far landed by the champion. We note that early, halfway through this first round, that Sonny is shooting mostly, although he's going to the head now, mostly toward that body. You know the old story, you kill the body and the head might follow. A right-hand shot on the chin. Jersey Joe Walcott. Sonny cannot move.
Confusion reigns, and that's Eamon Andrews trying to get the facts from Ali, and even he is not quite sure what happened.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, give me the mic. The timekeeper counted out Liston in 1 minute of the first round. 1 minute of the first round.
the world, Muhammad Ali.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the time was a bit off. Wait a second. Mutual is joining us. Muhammad Ali, Kaiser's play. Come here, Angelo. Get him over here, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw it a little better than halfway through that first round. He's now talking to the press. We have the entire Mutual network of over 800 stations, 80 million listeners in with our closed circuit audience. Let's find out all about the punch. Angelo, let's get him over. Move over. What's the case? All right, Cassius. Wait a minute, Muhammad Ali. Wait a minute now. Muhammad Ali, better known as Cassius Clay. Muhammad, what was the punch that won it for you? You're a real champion at this point.
Well, the punch that won the fight for me, I believe was the left hook on the right cross. And one of the two, I really can't think because I was moving too fast.
A left hook or a right cross?
That's right.
All right, now, did you think you were going to be able to do it in the first round? You did it in 6 rounds last time, Cassius.
Didn't I tell the world that I had a surprise? And that if I told you the surprise, you would not come to the fight.
Here's Ernie Terrell in the greatest condition of his life, ready for the most important fight of his professional career. Heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali enters the ring. He's the dancing master. He's the ring magician. He's the champion who has been labeled the fastest moving heavyweight in the entire history of 1 century of world heavyweight champions. And there's the Ali Shuffle. The fighters in the center of the ring to receive last moment instructions. Ali checking with his corner.
Ali continually taunted Terrell by asking, "What's my name?" He'd only recently changed it from Cassius Clay, and Terrell refused to acknowledge him by his new name of Muhammad Ali.
Ali sending in lightning punches with that sharp left. Muhammad Ali seems in complete control here in round 7. Ali talks it up. Manager Angelo Dundee tells Muhammad Ali, "You've got him, champ." Here's the beginning of the 15th and final round. From the 8th round through the 14th, Ernie continued to press Ali, looking for that one big shot that would turn the tide. But here at the end of the fight, Ali is in complete control. Ringsiders are estimating that Ali has won at least 12 rounds. And it's a testimony to Terrell's courage and fighting heart that he's still in there at the end. It's all Ali here in round 15. The champion showing a tremendous variety of punches. Terrell's eyes are badly swollen. Ernie has taken a terrible beating in there with one of the greatest heavyweight champions in the history of boxing. Ali pouring it on now, stinging, whipping punches. It's amazing that Ernie Terrell has taken such a beating and is still standing here in round 15. Ali still on his toes after 1 hour of fighting.
Champion Muhammad Ali looks as if he could go another 15 rounds. Ali finishes up with blistering combination. And there's the end of the fight. A brilliant boxing exhibition by champion Muhammad Ali as he receives a unanimous verdict. Once again, it's Muhammad Ali, undisputed world heavyweight champion. A man who ranks with the greatest heavyweight champions of all time.
Muhammad Ali. They certainly don't make him like him anymore. The final round's coming up. I hope you've enjoyed this hour of brilliant and balmy boxing moments as much as I have. We finish with a look at the offbeat world of boxing through the camera lens of Steve Holdsworth, a former professional boxer, who is well known as a commentator to Eurosport viewers. As you're about to discover, he has an eye for the unusual and take this camera to ringside. Thanks for joining me in my corner. Happy Boxing Days.
The next two clips could come under the heading, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
What a terrible, terrible shame. She'll win there. It's all over. Economy wins. Oh, Daisy. Oh, no. That's got to be a disqualification.
And here's one for the John Cleese Silly Walks collection. Here's a man who really gets a kick out of boxing. Fasten your safety belts for a bumpy landing. This gives a whole new meaning to tying your man up. It doesn't pay to hang around on the ropes in boxing.
Which means a boxer cannot be counted out, and it's a draw. Well, fair enough.
That's Boxing Barmy.
And balmy it was. Thanks for that, Amanda. I remember this as a Christmas present. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, whatever. Thanks a lot.